Hello and welcome everyone to another analysis and breakdown from the first chapter, Dursley's Dread and the Denial of Magic. In our last two analyses, we saw the dullness of Dursley family and then the normal versus hatred duel within the Dursleys' mind. Now let's jump to the morning of November 1st, when we see the entire day unfold from Uncle Vernon's dull and mewling perspective. This narrative immerses us in his growing paranoia and unease, revealing just how disturbed and scared Uncle Vernon feels today. But what is he so afraid of? As we read on, it becomes clear that the Dursleys' greatest fear, their worst nightmare, is the thought of anyone discovering their connection to their wizarding relatives, the embarrassing Potters. This family connection is a source of social dread and shame, a fear so consuming it twists into pure hatred. There's an old saying, just as love blinds people, so does hatred. And that's precisely what we see here. Uncle Vernon spends his entire day feeling the presence of magic. His subconscious is aware of it, but his blind hatred overpowers this awareness, leaving him in complete denial. He refuses to acknowledge or accept what's happening. For instance, as Uncle Vernon leaves for work in the morning, he notices a cat sitting at the corner of their street, reading a map. Yes, literally holding a map, as if it's navigating its way there. Moments later, he sees the same cat reading the street sign that says Privet Drive, as though double-checking the address. But does big guy Vernon believe his eyes? No way. The idea of a cat reading maps and street signs is far too absurd for his normal brain to comprehend. So he shakes his head, brushes it off, and ignores it completely. Then the owls come into play. Owls are supposed to be nocturnal, right? But today, hundreds of owls have been spotted flying around in broad daylight. That's unusual. And it's not just the cat and owls behaving abnormally either. Uncle Vernon, a normal, suit-wearing, big guy, starts noticing people dressed in the most outrageous outfits. We're talking full-on robes and gown, and they're clearly celebrating something big. To make things worse, one of them, a dwarf-like old man, suddenly hugs Vernon around his big belly and starts congratulating him. Oh my goodness, by now, Vernon is utterly shocked and confused. At first, he's just baffled, but when he overhears these strangely dressed individuals mentioning words like Harry and Potter, his confusion turns into horror. And that's when it hits him. He suddenly remembers the shameful family connection, that embarrassing relationship. His shock morphs into fear, and the idea of the normal majority world discovering their ties with these peculiar minority misfits sends a chill down his spine. This fear of social disgrace leaves him panic-stricken. But even so, by bedtime, he has managed to shrug off his worries, convincing himself that none of it really matters. He reassures himself that magic will have no real impact on their lives. Once again, Vernon is so blinded by hatred that even after a full day of being aware of magic, he still refuses to accept it. He blindly believes magic is something that cannot and will not affect the Dursleys. But oh, how very wrong he was. What awaited the Dursleys would shake their normal world to its very core. We will meet the bumblebee, the half-moon spectacles, the crooked nose in next episode.